Episode 4, The Nectar of Immortality by Dr. Nguyen and William Back. The Celestial Council chamber shimmered with an otherworldly radiance, its vast expanse filled with the highest-ranking angels. At the forefront stood Ezekiel and Antom, their very presence commanding a reverent hush. As the members of Omega Squad filed in, the air seemed to crackle with anticipation. Ezekiel's gaze swept over the assembled angels, his eyes betraying a hint of concern beneath his stoic expression. With a slight nod to Antom, he began the briefing.
Our recent encounter with Zeus has laid bare an uncomfortable truth. Our current power is woefully insufficient to continue policing creation effectively.
Antom.
While gods grow by consuming other deities, we as angels must seek alternative sources of power to reinforce our abilities. Failure to do so could upset the delicate balance we've fought so hard to maintain.
Gabrielle glided forward, her ethereal presence drawing all eyes. Her voice, though soft, carried an undercurrent of urgency that sent a shiver through the room.
We've identified a potential solution. The Amrita, the nectar of immortality, held by the Devas in the Hindu realm. Securing even a portion of this nectar could greatly enhance our capabilities.
Hermes cleared his throat, his normally rigid posture betraying a hint of nervousness.
This mission is of utmost secrecy. If the gods discover our predicament, it could ignite a cosmic conflict of unprecedented proportions. You must retrieve the Amrita without drawing attention to our plight.
Gabrielle, her tone softening, yet somehow more intense.
The success of this mission hinges on your ability to operate in absolute secrecy.
A tense silence fell over the chamber. Mikael's wings rustled slightly, his face a mask of determination tinged with concern. Beside him, Lucifer's casual smirk did little to hide the calculating gleam in his eyes.
A clandestine mission to secure power from the Devas. This isn't just about our strength anymore, it's about our very survival.
Lucifer, with a sardonic chuckle.
So, we're playing celestial cat burglars now? Sounds like a delightful change of pace from our usual righteous smiting.
Mikael and Xaphan exchanged worried glances before Xaphan spoke up, his voice a mixture of concern and resolve.
We need this, Lucifer. For all of us. The stakes have never been higher.
Mikael nodding solemnly.
Whatever it takes to keep the cosmos in check, right?
Ezekiel raised a hand, silencing the murmurs that had begun to ripple through the chamber.
Omega Squad, you have your mission. The fate of the Celestial Order rests in your hands. May your wings be swift and your judgment sound.
As the briefing concluded, the members of Omega Squad filed out, the enormity of their task settling upon their shoulders like a tangible weight. The air shimmered and twisted as Omega Squad materialized in the Hindu realm. A world of breathtaking splendor unfurled before them, cascading waterfalls of liquid light, trees with leaves of spun gold, and flowers that sang soft melodies as their petals danced in the ethereal breeze. The very air sparkled with motes of celestial energy, each breath filling the angels with a sense of divine serenity. At the forefront of a welcoming party stood Indra, king of the Devas. His form radiated a soft, warm glow, his regal bearing unmistakable even among the pantheon of divine beings. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of eons, yet held the gentleness of a summer rain.
Welcome, guardians of the cosmic order. Your presence here is unexpected.
Mikael stepped forward, his wings folding neatly behind him as he bowed his head in respect. The pristine white of his feathers seemed to absorb and reflect the realm's ethereal light.
Great Indra, we come seeking alliance. We've received word of a threat to the balance of power, one that concerns us all.
As Mikael spoke, a shadow seemed to pass over Indra's luminous features. The melody of the singing flowers faltered for a moment, and a chill wind rustled through the golden leaves. Indra, gravely,
You speak of the blue demons. Their leader, Rahu, grows bolder by the day. They seek the Amrita, the nectar of immortality, to tip the scales of power in their favor.
At the mention of Rahu's name, the realm's beauty seemed to dim ever so slightly, as if recoiling from the very thought of such darkness. Lucifer, under his breath with a smirk.
Nothing like a common enemy to forge alliances, eh?
Mikael shot Lucifer a warning glance before addressing Indra once more, his voice a counterpoint of warmth against the encroaching chill.
We are here to help defend the Amrita and to negotiate for a portion of its power to aid in our universal policing duties.
A tense silence fell over the gathering. Indra's eyes narrowed, assessing the angels with renewed scrutiny. The air around them seemed to thicken, the realm holding its breath. Indra, carefully.
Very well, we welcome your assistance in this dire time, but be wary of Rahu. He is as cunning as he is dangerous. And about the nectar of immortality, I can't make any promise. It will be up to the entire pantheon.
Mikael.
We understand. We will keep on mission and hope that you could convince the pantheon to agree to our demand. Rest assured, this is not a trade, merely a demand of our High Angelic Council.
As the formalities concluded and the angels were shown to their quarters, a shadow detached itself from the darkest corner of a nearby grove. Rahu, king of the blue demons, emerged. His presence was a stark contrast to the realm's beauty. Where the Hindu paradise glowed with warmth and light, Rahu seemed to absorb all radiance, leaving only cold darkness in his wake. His azure skin, rather than reflecting the realm's luminescence, seemed to pulse with an inner sinister energy. His eyes, black as the void between stars, fixed upon Lucifer with predatory intent. A smile played across his lips, revealing teeth sharp enough to tear through the very fabric of reality. Later, as Lucifer patrolled the outskirts of the Deva's stronghold, the serene beauty of the realm began to waver and distort. Shadows lengthened unnaturally, and the sweet melodies of the flowers twisted into discordant whispers. Rahu's voice, smooth as silk and twice as deadly, cut through the unnatural silence.
Why fight for scraps of power, angel, when you could feast at the table of gods?
Lucifer whirled, his wings flaring instinctively. The soft glow of his angelic essence seemed to dim in Rahu's presence, as if being slowly devoured by the demon's aura of darkness. Lucifer, cautiously intrigued.
And what exactly are you offering, demon?
Rahu, his smile widening, revealing more of those reality-tearing teeth.
Join us, and you can share in the Amrita's full strength. Imagine the freedom, the power you could wield. No more playing second fiddle to your uptight compatriots.
As Rahu spoke, the world around them seemed to flicker between two realities, the divine beauty of the Hindu realm and a twisted, shadowy version where all light and hope had been extinguished. Lucifer's eyes gleamed with barely concealed interest, even as suspicion clouded his features. Lucifer, skeptically.
And what do you get out of this little arrangement?
Rahu, leaning in conspiratorially, his voice a dark caress.
I want to see the prophecy fulfilled. The one who possesses the head of an immortal will dominate the world. And you, fallen angel, could be the key to unlocking that destiny.
As Rahu's words hung in the air, Lucifer found himself torn between duty and temptation. The seed of betrayal, once planted, began to take root in the fertile soil of his ambition. In the distance, oblivious to the fateful encounter, Mikael continued his vigilant watch. The divine light of the realm seemed to cling to him, a stark contrast to the shadows that now enveloped Lucifer and Rahu. The stage was set for a clash not just of forces, but of light and darkness themselves. The air crackled with tension as another wave of blue demons crashed against the celestial defenses. Omega Squad, their wings spread wide, formed an impenetrable barrier before the temple, housing the Amrita. Mikael's voice rang out over the chaos, his sword flashing in the otherworldly light.
Hold the line! We cannot let them breach the inner sanctum.
Beside him, Xaphan morphed his form into a whirling dervish of blades, cutting down demons with surgical precision. Xaphan.
Mikael, on your 6!
Without hesitation, Mikael ducked, allowing Xaphan's extended blade to slice through a demon that had almost flanked him. Mikael, with a grateful nod.
Sharp eyes as always, Xaphan. What would I do without you?
Xaphan.
Probably spend more time polishing that halo of yours.
Their banter was interrupted by Marishal's booming laugh as he barreled through a group of demons, sending them flying like blue bowling pins. Marichal jubilantly.
Ha! Did you see that? I call it the Maréchal Express, and...
Lucifer, fighting nearby, rolled his eyes but couldn't suppress a smirk.
Catchy. Perhaps a bit on the nose, though.
Marichal.
Coming from you, Lucy, I'll take that as a compliment.
As the last demon fell, an uneasy quiet settled over the battlefield. The squad regrouped, their faces a mixture of exhilaration and concern. Xaphan, breathing heavily.
They're testing our defenses, probing for weaknesses.
Marichal, cracking his knuckles.
Let 'em come, I'm just getting warmed up.
Mikael nodded, his eyes scanning the horizon for signs of the next attack. He noticed Lucifer's uncharacteristic silence.
Lucifer, you've been quiet. What's on your mind?
Lucifer, startled from his thoughts.
Oh, just contemplating our odds. Someone has to be the realist in this merry band of optimists.
Xaphan placed a comforting hand on Lucifer's shoulder.
Hey, we're in this together. Whatever comes, we face it as one.
Lucifer's expression flickered with guilt, but before he could respond, Marichal wrapped them all in a bear hug.
That's right. One for all and all for... one? Or was it the other way around?
The moment of levity was short-lived as Lucifer extracted himself from the group, muttering about checking the perimeter. As he walked away, Mikael watched him with a mixture of concern and suspicion. Mikael, to himself.
What aren't you telling us, old friend?
In a secluded spot, hidden from his teammates' view, Lucifer met with Rahu. The demon's presence seemed to leach the warmth from the air.
You fight well with your friends, but imagine what you could do with true power coursing through your veins.
Lucifer's eyes narrowed, conflict evident in his expression.
And how exactly do you propose we acquire this true power?
Rahu.
During the next attack, you'll create an opening, a small oversight in the defenses. Nothing too obvious, of course.
Lucifer, hesitating.
And my team? What about them?
Images flashed through Lucifer's mind. Xaphan's unwavering support, Mariachal's boisterous affection, Mikael's steadfast leadership, Rahu dismissively.
They are angels, strong angels. They will be roughed a little bit, but they will survive. The main casualties of war will more be their pride, I'm afraid. But you are destined for greatness, Lucifer. With the Amrita, you could surpass them all, even your precious Mikael.
Lucifer's mind raced, memories of past slights and condescension, battling with moments of camaraderie and trust. Lucifer to himself.
They've always underestimated me, treated me like I'm useless, lazy.
Rahu, sensing Lucifer's turmoil.
This is your chance to prove them all wrong, to finally be more than just a fallen angel.
As Rahu's words sank in, Lucifer's resolve hardened. He nodded, sealing the pact with a grim smile. Meanwhile, back at the makeshift command center, Mikael pored over defense strategies with Indra and the other angels. Xaphan and Marichal exchanged worried glances. Xaphan, quietly to Marichal.
Something's off with Lucifer. Have you noticed?
Marichal, nodding solemnly.
Yeah, he didn't even laugh at my Maréchal Express joke. That's not like him.
Mikael, overhearing, his voice tight with concern.
We'll talk to him after this is over. Right now, we need to focus on the task at hand.
Just then, Lucifer sauntered in, his trademark smirk firmly in place, though it didn't quite reach his eyes.
What did I miss? Any brilliant plans to thwart our blue friends?
The tension in the room was palpable as Mikael's eyes narrowed slightly, a flicker of suspicion crossing his face before he shook it off.
We're reinforcing the eastern flank. I want you on point there during the next assault.
Lucifer with a mock salute.
Aye, aye, Captain. You can count on me.
As Lucifer turned to leave, Xaphan caught his arm, concern evident in his eyes.
Are you all right, Lucifer? You know you can talk to us if something's bothering you.
Lucifer shrugging him off.
Never better, Pipsqueak. Just eager to show everyone what I'm really capable of.
As night fell over the realm, an uneasy quiet settled over the defenders. In the darkness, Lucifer stood alone, his eyes fixed on the horizon where the blue demons would soon appear. His hand clenched around his weapon, knuckles white with the weight of his impending betrayal. Lucifer whispering to himself.
Time to rewrite destiny.
In the distance, a low rumble began to build, heralding the approach of Rahu's forces. The battle that would change everything was about to begin, and with it, the bonds of Omega Squad would be tested as never before. The night sky erupted in a cacophony of battle cries as Rahu's forces descended upon the temple. As the clash began, the air shimmered with an otherworldly energy. Amidst the chaos, Mikael's voice cut through the din, his sword gleaming with celestial light.
Hold fast, remember your training, and guard each other's flanks.
His eyes sought out Lucifer, a mixture of concern and hope in his gaze. For a moment, their eyes met across the battlefield, a lifetime of shared experiences passing between them. Mikael, softly, almost to himself.
Watch yourself out there, old friend.
Lucifer, positioned at the eastern perimeter, felt the weight of Mikael's gaze. His resolve wavered for a moment. With a subtle gesture, he weakened a section of the magical barrier, creating an opening just wide enough for a small group to penetrate. Lucifer, muttering,
Forgive me, Mikael.
As the battle raged, Xaphan's keen eyes caught sight of movement where there should be none.
Mikael! The eastern flank! They're breaking through!
Mikael's head snapped around, his eyes widening as he witnessed demons slipping past their defenses. In that moment, realization dawned on his face, a mixture of anger and heartbreak contorting his features. Mikael, voice trembling with emotion.
Lucifer, what have you done?
Lucifer, caught in the act, met Mikael's gaze with a defiant smirk that didn't quite reach his eyes.
What I had to do, Mikael, they promised real power. I'm tired of being your shadow, always second best.
Mikael, advancing on Lucifer, hurt evident in his voice.
Second best? Lucifer, you've always been my equal, my brother in arms.
Their confrontation was cut short by a triumphant roar echoing from within the temple. Rahu emerged, the vial of Amrita clutched in his azure hands, his eyes gleaming with malevolent victory. The spectral images above coalesced, focusing on Rahu's form. Rahu, laughing.
At last, the power of the gods is within my grasp.
As Rahu raised the vial, the air around him began to distort. His form seemed to stretch and twist, growing larger and more monstrous with each passing second. Lucifer turned to Rahu, expectation written across his face.
We did it. Now, as promised.
Rahu's laughter cut him off, cold and cruel. His now massive form towered over Lucifer, casting him in shadow.
Oh, you simple, foolish angel. Did you really think I'd share this power? Seize him.
Realization dawned on Lucifer's face as the blue demons surrounded him. He had been used, manipulated by his own ambition and Rahu's cunning. Lucifer is filled with disbelief.
No, this can't be.
Mikael, witnessing Lucifer's betrayal and subsequent betrayal, found himself torn between anger and an overwhelming urge to protect his oldest friend.
You've made your bed, Lucifer, but I won't let you lie in it alone.
Mikael and Xaphan, having fought their way to Mikael's side, exchanged worried glances. Mikael, panting.
Boss, what's the play here? We're outnumbered and outgunned.
Xaphan, eyes darting between Mikael and Lucifer.
And what about him?
Mikael's jaw clenched, the weight of leadership heavy on his shoulders. He looked at Lucifer, seeing not the betrayer, but the friend who had stood by him through countless battles.
We fight for heaven, for earth, for all of creation. All of us, together.
As Rahu, now a colossal, monstrous version of himself, prepared to drink the Amrita, the battlefield fell into an eerie hush. The fate of multiple realms hung in the balance, teetering on the edge of Rahu's imminent transformation. Rahu, raising the vial, his voice booming.
Witness the dawn of a new era, the era of Rahu, the immortal God King.
Just as the vial touched Rahu's lips, a blinding light erupted from within the temple. The voice of Indra, infused with divine power, rang out.
Not so fast, demon.
The scene froze, Rahu's triumph teetering on the brink of fruition, Lucifer caught between his former allies and his failed gambit, and Mikael facing the greatest challenge of his celestial career. The air itself seemed to hold its breath, awaiting the next move in this cosmic chess game. Lucifer, voice barely a whisper, his eyes meeting Mikael's across the battlefield.
Mickey, I'm sorry. What have I done?
As the light from Indra's intervention faded, the battlefield stood poised on a knife's edge. The battle for the Amrita and the fate of the cosmos had reached its critical turning point, with the bonds of friendship and brotherhood hanging in the balance. The blinding light from Indra's intervention momentarily halted the chaos, casting long shadows across the battlefield. In that frozen moment, Lucifer's eyes darted between Rahu, still clutching the vial of Amrita, and Mikael, his former partner, now regarding him with a mixture of fury and disappointment.
I've made a terrible mistake.
As if his words had broken a spell, the scene exploded into action once more. Rahu, recovering quickly, raised the vial to his lips again.
No light show can stop destiny.
In that crucial moment, Lucifer made his choice. With a burst of speed that surprised even himself, he launched towards Rahu. Lucifer, shouting,
Mikael, I'm sorry. Let me fix this.
Mikael, momentarily stunned by Lucifer's sudden change of heart, snapped into action.
Omega Squad, with me. We end this now.
Lucifer's unexpected move created just enough chaos for Omega Squad to mount a coordinated counterattack. Xaphan and Mikael flanked the blue demons, while Mikael drove straight for Rahu. Xaphan transforming into a whirlwind.
Time to even the odds.
Mikael bellowing as he charged.
Who wants a piece of this?
Indra and the other devas joined the fray, their divine powers adding to the mayhem. Rahu, surrounded and desperate, finally managed to bring the vial to his lips. Rahu, laughing maniacally.
Too late, fools. The power is mine.
His words cut off as he began to drink. Suddenly, his eyes widened in horror. The prophecy, twisted by fate, began to unfold in an unexpected way. Mikael and Lucifer reached him at the same time, each pulling their sword, aimed for the head of the giant demon. With the help of Indra, it happened, as the prophecy predicted. Rahu, in agony.
No, this can't be.
Before everyone's astonished eyes, Rahu's head separated from his body, becoming an immortal entity of its own. The vial of Amrita shattered on the ground, its precious contents spilling uselessly. Rahu's head, wailing.
This isn't what I wanted. I'm incomplete.
Lucifer, seeing his chance, lunged for the spilled Amrita. Mikael, intercepting him.
No, Lucifer! It's a trap, can't you see?
Lucifer struggled against Mikael's grip, his eyes wild with conflicting emotions. Lucifer, confused and angry.
Let go! You're just jealous, afraid I'll surpass you.
Mikael, his voice softening.
This isn't about surpassing anyone, Lucy. It's about standing together. Look what the pursuit of power has wrought.
As realization dawned on Lucifer's face, the remaining blue demons, leaderless and outmatched, began to retreat. Indra approached the angelic squad, his expression a mixture of gratitude and concern. Indra, solemnly.
The threat is averted, but at great cost. The Nectar's power is lost to us all.
Xaphan, hesitantly.
So, what happens now?
Mikael, straightening up.
We return to heaven, face the consequences of our actions, and hope that we've learned something from all this.
Lucifer, quietly.
I'm sorry. Truly.
Mikael regarded Lucifer for a long moment, then extended his hand.
We all make mistakes, Lucy. It's how we rectify them that defines us.
As Omega Squad prepared to depart, Rahu's disembodied head continued to wail in the background, a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. Mikael, glancing at Rahu's head.
So, what do we do with him?
Indra, with a wry smile.
Oh, I think the cosmos has plans for our friend Rahu. The moon could use a new ornament, don't you think?
As the angels took flight, leaving the Hindu realm behind, the weight of their experience settled upon them. They had come seeking power, but found instead a powerful lesson in unity, trust, and the true meaning of strength. Mikael, addressing his team.
Let's go home, Omega Squad. We have much to report and much to consider.
With a flash of divine light, they vanished, leaving behind a realm forever changed by their visit. The tale of the Nectar of Immortality and Omega Squad's fateful mission would echo through the celestial realms for eons to come. The celestial light faded as Omega Squad materialized in the grand hall of heaven. The room, usually bustling with angelic activity, fell into an uneasy silence at their arrival. Ezekiel and Anton stood at the far end. Ezekiel, his voice resonating through the hall.
Omega Squad, we've eagerly awaited your return.
Mikael stepped forward, his wings folding neatly behind him. The weight of their mission's outcome was evident in the set of his shoulders.
We failed to secure the Amrita.
A ripple of murmurs swept through the gathered angels. Anton's eyes narrowed, a calculating gleam in their depths.
Explain yourselves. How could you fail such a crucial mission?
Lucifer, uncharacteristically subdued, moved to stand beside Mikael.
The fault.
Xaphan quickly added.
The demons spilled it all in the battle. Even Indra was powerless to save any drop of nectar.
Mikael, nodding vigorously.
We may not have the nectar, but we stopped that blue demon Rahu from getting it too.
Anton.
We needed that power, Ezekiel, the cosmic balance.
Ezekiel, cutting her off.
Is maintained through more than raw power, Anton. Integrity, unity, and the strength to overcome temptation are equally vital.
Mikael and Lucifer exchanged a glance, a newfound understanding passing between them. Ezekiel nodded, a small smile playing at the corners of his mouth. As the meeting concluded and the angels dispersed, Mikael pulled Lucifer aside.
I hope you've learned something from all this, Lucifer.
Lucifer, with a wry smile.
Oh, I have. Never trust a blue demon with anger management issues.
Mikael, exasperated but amused.
Not exactly the lesson I was hoping for, but I suppose it's a start.
As they walked away together, the future of Heaven and Omega Squad stretched before them, filled with new challenges and opportunities for growth. The quest for the Nectar of Immortality may have failed, but in its place, something perhaps even more valuable had been gained, a renewed sense of purpose and unity. This is Omega, the 4th volume of Legends of Destiny.